This review was made possible by contributions from viewers like you.
Hey guys. Albert Einstein once said, "Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world." And what movie better encapsulates the boundless reaches of imagination than that timeless classic, The Neverending Story? Since it's been announced that we'll be getting a new multi-part reimagining of this classic story, I figured that we should revisit the original and celebrate its awesomeness, and discuss some of the, let's call them, less awesome elements. And for the record, me being nitpicky does not mean that I hate this movie, nor that I'm going to try to make you hate it. This is a good movie. But not even the good movies are flawless. As the opening titles roll, we open on some rather ominous weather patterns, as well as what everyone remembers most from this movie, its kick-ass theme song. Why don't movies have their own anthems anymore? I mean, Neverending Story, Ghostbusters, Transformers. Why do modern filmmakers insist on making their movies less awesome? We then meet our protagonist Bastian, played by Victor from Frankenweenie. As he sits down to his breakfast with his unbelievably boring father, we learn that his mother has recently died. Poor kid. First his dog dies, then his mom dies, kid just can't catch a break. After Dad tells him that he needs to get his head in the game and do better in school, we see him partake in another part of his regular morning routine, getting terrorized by a bunch of bullies.
Let's get him! Yeah! Hey, go look!
Not one adult that they pass tries to stop the bullies and say, hey, knock it off.
That's the 80s, I guess. After getting thrown into a dumpster that's full of hay, a typical feature in a nice rural setting like Vancouver, he hides from the bullies in the most disorganized bookstore in history. Can't imagine why this place doesn't see any business. Bastian can't help but be curious about this particular book that the owner is reading, but he tells him to keep to his own books since they're safe, in that he can always just put them down when he wants to. Making me wonder how long this guy was lost in this mindless reading stupor before Bastian found him. He leaves Bastian alone with the mysterious forbidden book he's been tantalizing him with, and he goes about his way, taking heed of the old man's warnings, and nope, of course he makes off with it.
Our hero's a thief. Nice.
Nah, he left a note, it's fine. Speaking of, excuse me a moment. Sorry about your missing car. I'll return it later. He makes it to school in time to not take the math test for which he didn't study, and he hides up in the attic, like all elementary schools have, to get in some reading. This is odd. He swipes this key so casually like he sneaks into this attic rather frequently, but why is he looking around the place like he's never been here instead of just immediately making himself at home? And fine, an attic is going to be filled with many different odds and ends, maybe even a skeleton left over from an old science class. That said, what's with the random assortment of human remains on the shelf? Anyway, he cracks open the titular Neverending Story, and begins reading the story of the fantastical fantasy land of Fantasia on a dark and stormy night, as something is ominously stalking through these foreboding woods. By the way, does this guy look familiar? It's Deep Roy, the actor who played the Oompa Loompas in Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And in this movie, he's dressed like Willy Wonka. Coincidence? Yes, moving on. Minor note here, but while he's never mentioned by name in the movie itself, apparently IMDb lists this character as Teeny Weeny. Come on, movie. It's hard enough for little people to get decent work in Hollywood as it is. You gotta do that. These guys are almost crushed by this giant mountain thing called a rock biter. He's made of rocks, and he eats rocks.
That is called cannibalism, my dear children, and is in fact frowned upon in most societies.
If he wants to lose a little weight, does he have to watch what he eats, or can he just chisel it off?
He can just let erosion handle it. All he has to do is wait.
Ha! Weight loss. I get it. He tells his little friends about how a beautiful lake in his homeland has suddenly gone missing.
Did the lake dry up?
No, it just wasn't there anymore. Nothing was there anymore. Not even a dried up lake.
A hole?
A hole would be something. No, it was nothing. And it got bigger and bigger.
Normally this would be the part where someone in my position would say something like, you know, we could be seeing some of this right now. Show, don't tell. But actually, this is one of those instances where less is more. It is absolutely brilliant that this movie leaves this idea of nothingness completely up to the imagination of the viewer. If you were to hear of a lake going missing, you would think of things like a dried up lake, or a giant hole where a lake would have been. But those are things. Whatever you're thinking a missing lake would look like, it's still something. What the hell does nothing look like? It turns out that everyone present is on their way to the Ivory Tower to ask the Empress for help, and then we see what's been terrorizing Fantasia.
Oh, no. The nothing.
Oh no. I will just sit here and stare dramatically instead of fleeing in terror. They all reach the Ivory Tower, and it truly is a sight to behold.
I never knew it was that beautiful.
Are we looking at the same thing?
What, you don't think it's beautiful?
No, it's just... I don't know what.
The home of the Empress. She's our only hope.
That is a very ugly Empress.
Friends,
Romans! Bobbleheads! He says that the Empress has fallen ill and can't fight the Nothing, but he does know of someone who can. Atreyu, the mighty warrior from the Plains people.
A little boy.
Is it? I thought he was Anne Hathaway. Honestly though, despite how Anne Hathaway and Atreyu's actor Noah Hathaway are not related, it is freaky how much they both look exactly the same. Unsurprisingly, no one believes that this is the warrior who was summoned.
it was not you we sent for. We wanted to betray you.
I'm the only Atreyu of the Plains people. But I'll be happy to go back hunting the purple buffalo.
No, wait! If you really are the Atreyu we sent for, you would be willing to go on a quest
What kind of a quest?
to find a cure for the Empress.
Wait, I thought his quest was to fight the Nothing.
The Plains people who hunt the purple buffalo have among them a great warrior. He alone has a chance to fight the Nothing and save us.
I guess when this guy saw that Atreyu wasn't the superhero that he thought he was, the best he could do was make up a new quest for him on the fly.
You must go alone. You must leave all your weapons behind.
Why? Does it not make more sense to send out a warrior with a warrior's tools, or possibly some reinforcements?
No, he has to go alone because that is the way it is done.
Well, if that is the way it is done, then that is the way he must do it.
If you fail, the Empress will surely die, and our whole world will be utterly destroyed.
So, you know, no pressure. He's given this talisman called the Orin, which is said to guide and protect him, and off he rides into a travel montage. But he isn't alone. Feel free to pause right here so you can get yourself a fresh change of pants. A week passes, and Atreyu has yet to find a cure for the Empress.
I know what you want. It's time to eat. Good idea.
No, it's a great idea.
Ah, that's something else that modern movies need. Their own anthems and snack breaks.
No, not too much. We still have a long way to go.
Do you not expect to put the book down when it's eventually time to go home and eat dinner?
Kid's a little too into reading.
I am so lost!
He can't be lost. They didn't tell him where to go in the first place. He's been wandering aimlessly for a week with no idea where to go or what to find. They couldn't give him a map? Hell, did they even tell him what's afflicting the Empress? How can he find a cure if he doesn't know what the sickness is?
Atreyu's aimless wandering eventually leads him into the swamps of sadness.
Everyone knew that whoever let the sadness overtake him would sink into the swamp.
And thanks to my magical editing powers, I can make sure that that never happens.
Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Wonderful feeling, wonderful day.
Unfortunately, I'm just kidding. No amount of editing on my part can prevent one of the saddest moments in movie history.
Artax, you're sinking! Come on, turn around! You have to now! Come on! Artax! Fight against the sadness, Artax! Artax, please. You're letting the sadness of the swamps get to you. You have to try. You have to care. For me. You're my friend. I love you. Artax! Stupid horse! You gotta move or you'll die! Move, please! I won't give up! Don't quit! Artax!
I pulled a nose hair to make myself cry.
And sure, we're all sobbing our little hearts out right now, but bear in mind that we're just watching the abridged version of events. There was no convenient little fade to black for Atreyu. He saw every second of Artax slowly sinking down into his oblivion. As devastated as we are for having seen the little that we did, shouldn't Atreyu be sinking to his death as well? I'm just saying, if this place feeds on sadness, this kid shouldn't have a prayer. It isn't long until Atreyu runs into this thing.
Well, that was awkward.
Very awkward. If the characters in the book can hear Bastion, can characters in the movie hear us?
But that's impossible. They couldn't have heard me.
I wonder what he could have read that suggests they might have heard him. And then they looked around as they heard what sounded like a small boy screaming in an attic somewhere. He tells Atreyu that he can find a cure for the Empress by talking to the Southern Oracle. Not that it matters, since it's 10,000 miles away. But the bell suddenly rings on Bastion's end.
know. Atreyu wouldn't quit now.
And what's stopping you from just going home and continuing the story in a more comfortable setting? I mean, no, Atreyu wouldn't give up now, but if given the chance, he might prefer to go the way of sunshine and snuggles. Wouldn't be getting any of that at home, that's all I'm saying. I mean, yes, this creepy-ass attic makes for a nice atmospheric reading environment for our sake, and this wolf head makes for an effectively pants-shitting transition, but why? What is up with all the taxidermy in this attic? If Bastion has to read in a place that's conducive to the story, why not hide out in the school's drama department, where he might be set upon by an equally appropriate and less out-of-place wolf costume? Back to the story. Atreyu has now been in this swamp for 12 minutes of screen time. Roughly 80% of what we see in his journey has been taking place in the swamp that's supposed to eat you if you're not having a particularly happy time, and now we're getting a montage that's made up of nothing but him dissolving from one tedious shot of trudging onward to another. How is this kid still alive? But just when it looks like the swamp finally wears him down, he's rescued by a giant flying Pyrenees Pomeranian.
After days and nights of unconsciousness, Atreyu slowly opened his eyes and found himself in strange surroundings. He was clean and his wounds were dressed.
I guess the giant flying dog licked him clean? Actually, this thing is a luck dragon named Falkor. And is it me, or does he bear a striking resemblance to the bookstore owner that Bastion ran into earlier?
Leaving so soon?
Stay a while. I'll make breakfast.
Don't make it creepy.
I was just going to... I have to... I was trying to...
Sneak away?
Yeah. I mean, no.
I like children.
Yeah, I'll bet you do.
Robert?
I'm a luck dragon.
Feel like getting lucky?
Will you stop it?
My name is Falkor.
And my name is...
Atreyu. And you're on a quest.
How'd you know that?
You were unconscious.
I roofied you.
Knock it off!
Hey, he's been out for days. How do we know that he wasn't roofied?
You were unconscious. And you talked in your sleep.
I give up. This movie's dirty.
You were unconscious, and you talked in your sleep.
Could you get round?
Run, Atreyu, run!
My God, it just keeps going!
Yeah.
Stop making those noises!
And stop making your O face!
That's so good.
I don't know who wrote this dialogue, but they need to be on a list.
As it happens, Falkor has flown Atreyu to the outskirts of the Southern Oracle.
Having a luck dragon with you is the only way to go on a quest.
Wait a minute, what about the you must go alone thing?
They're really more what you'd call guidelines than actual rules. It turns out that Falkor isn't the only one helping Atreyu on his quest. I hate to see him go, but I love to watch him leave.
And I hate that I can't tell you to stop making it inappropriate, but this movie keeps giving you more to work with.
It's revealed that Atreyu was patched up by a couple of gnomes.
He's well. Now it's my turn with him.
Holy crap, give me a break, movie! I'm dying here!
Well, little man, still in pain?
A little, but it's all right.
I like that.
I like it when they're in pain. Before Atreyu can see the Southern Oracle, he has to pass through the Sphinx Gate that kills anyone if they have any doubt within themselves. Atreyu gives it a go, and he should pass through it without issue, since he survived the Swamps of Sadness, and he has the Orin protecting him. But then the Sphinxes try to zap him anyway.
That was confidence?
I guess in the thousands of years of people trying to pass, no one thought of running just a little faster. I gotta call bullcrap here. If you have this gate that only lets you pass through if you believe in yourself, okay, fine, I'll buy it. But any kind of doubt sets it off and kills you? You can have all the confidence in the world, but I think you should be allowed to be a little nervous if you have a 100-foot laser gun aimed at your face. But yeah, for some reason, the gate decides that Atreyu just isn't confident in himself enough, and he somehow survives just by running past it.
I knew he would be safe.
You could have just flown him over the gate, you prick! Unfortunately, Atreyu now has to pass through the mirror gate.
Atreyu has to face his true self.
So what? That won't be too hard for him.
Ah, that's what everyone thinks.
I thought everyone died at the Sphinx Gate. Stop moving the goalpost.
Kind people find that they are cruel. Brave men discover that they are really cowards. Confronted with their true selves, most men run away screaming.
Nice of the wind to calm down a bit for this dramatic moment.
And what is Atreyu's true self? This fictional warrior looks into his reflection and sees a non-fictional bookworm? I don't get it. I mean, I'd get Bastion looking into this mirror gate and seeing Atreyu, implying that there's more to him than just this little piece of bully fodder, but Atreyu's real self is Bastion? Atreyu has garnered enough of a reputation for himself that apparently his great warrior status preceded the fact that he's still just a little kid. He's enough of a badass that he can just shrug off a quest, knowing full well that those in need of aid will be begging for him to come back and help them. How is a little wuss like Bastion supposed to be the real him?
It'd make more sense for him to look in the mirror and see Danny Trejo.
Atreyu! And again, I have to ask why the Sphinx Gate took issue with him anyway. He was already confident in his talents and accomplishments that got the attention of the Empress and her council, and now he's armed with the knowledge that he beat the Swamps of Sadness despite the unbearable emotional ringer that he just went through. Shouldn't the gate have just let him walk on by?
This is going too far.
Agreed. The dozens of books that you've read in your little lifetime, and this starts making you see things? Maybe there's something funny in that ink.
Maybe the attic's painted with lead paint.
Atreyu walks through the mirror, with no further exploration of what his reflection is supposed to mean. And then we see Bastion not reading that part, but lighting some candles so we can continue.
The Southern Oracle?
Did he just skip over the rest of the mirror gate bit? And follow-up question, can fictional characters do things if no one reads about them doing it?
He must have skipped that part because it was too scary. Where did he get the candles and the matches to light them?
He's in the attic of Spooky Holding. Of course he's gonna find candles and matches. After that bit in the snowstorm, we're back in the desert as Atreyu finally reaches the Southern Oracle.
Wait, did he go back to the first gate?
No, the Southern Oracle just looks exactly like the Sphinx Gate.
Why?
Because.
Oh, I see.
Do not be afraid. We will not harm you.
Just like everything else we've had to endure to get here, I'm sure.
Are you the Southern Oracle?
Yes, we are.
Then you must know what can save Fantasia.
Yes, we do.
Giant glittery boobs.
Actually, it explains that the one way the Empress can be saved is if she's given a new name by a human child, which can only be found outside the boundaries of Fantasia.
If you want to save our world, you must hurry. We don't know how how much longer we can withstand the night.
Oh my. Oracles are supposed to know everything, but this one is suddenly confronted with an uncertainty, and a rather terrifying one at that. Points for maintaining a calm and cool demeanor during the existential panic it must be enduring right now. And then, boom, we're in the air with Falkor. With no indication that Atreyu had to run back through the snowstorm or past the Sphinx Gate again, it's too easy to imagine that Falkor just flew in and picked him up, making me wonder if he actually could have just flown him over all that crap. Oh, who cares? Epic flying montage! Yeah!
On and on they flew until they reached the Sea of Possibilities, where they could go no further.
That's weird. One would think that the Sea of Possibilities would have many ways in which they could go further. No, actually, they're tripped up by the Nothing. Is the Nothing sentient? Because attacking the infinity of possibilities that this sea implies is pretty damn cunning. By the way, all the props have to be given to these special effects artists. I mean, looking at this imagery, you might think that all of reality actually is under attack. The Nothing takes enough of a punch at Falkor's inherent luck to knock Atreyu off his back. But I guess enough of that luck rubbed off on Atreyu, since he washes up on the beach instead of just drowning in the ocean. Luck is weird.
Don't say rubbed off in reference to Falkor, okay?
But uh-oh, he's lost the Orin.
Oh no, and it was doing such a good job of protecting him so far.
Then Atreyu bumps into the Rockbiter. The Southern Oracle was over 10,000 miles away from the Ivory Tower where we last saw this guy. We just had a little flying montage of indeterminate distance and time. Did Falkor just circle back to where they first started, or is Rockbiter's mountain-sized tricycle as fast as a luck dragon? Also, is it me, or does Rockbiter look like a bloated Kurt Russell?
It's you. Leave Hot Santa alone.
They look like big, good, strong hands, don't they? I always thought that's what they were. Oh, my little friends. I couldn't hold on to them.
I couldn't hold on to my teeny weeny.
The Nothing pulled them right out of my hands.
And with no explanation as to why it wouldn't just take this thing along with his little friends, I'm starting to think that the Nothing actually might be sentient. It's not enough to just destroy everything in its wake. It has to leave some survivors just so they can wallow for a bit.
I failed.
No, you didn't fail. I'm the one who failed. I was the one chosen to stop the Nothing. But I lost the Orin. I can't find my luck dragon.
I lost the Orin. I can't find my luck dragon. Whiniest warrior ever.
Oh, come on, he's been charged with saving all of existence. That's gotta be a little taxing.
Does whining make it easier? Put on your big boy pants and get it done.
Oh, you're just being mean.
At least it's making more sense as to why his true self is Bastion. Deep down, he's a whiny little bitch.
Atreyu just walks away from that last scene and finds himself in the mystical Temple of Plot Points, where he sees this disturbing image.
Did you like that? Took me hours to paint just for this reveal, but it was worth it.
If you come any closer, I will rip you to shreds.
And what motivation might he have to come closer? Jesus.
Who are you?
I am the morgue. And you, whoever you are, can have the honor of being my last victim.
I will not die easily. I am a warrior.
Brave warrior. Then fight the nothing.
But I can't!
But I can't! Stop whining!
I can't get beyond the boundaries of Fantasia. What's so funny about that?
Foolish boy. Don't you know anything about Fantasia? It's the world of human fantasy. Every part, every creature of it is a piece of the dreams and hopes of mankind. Therefore, it has no boundary.
The Southern Oracle was dicking with you. Gamork explains that people are losing their hopes and dreams, and that's what's been destroying Fantasia.
And I have been trying to help it.
But why?
Because people who have no hopes are easy to control. And whoever has the control has the power.
Who are you really?
I am the servant of the power behind the nothing.
And since this little conversation began with you acknowledging that you're only moments away from your own death, you really bet on the wrong horse.
I was sent to kill the only one who could have stopped the nothing. I lost him in the swamps of sadness.
It's kind of funny, really. You smell exactly like the one I was trying to kill. Oh well. Atreyu says, "Come and get some, bitch." And then it's over before it can even begin. Wow. All this build-up for what we thought was only a nightmare-inducing wolf, but is actually the servant to some greater evil that's behind the nothing this whole time. And that's how he goes out? Could have used a little more imagination for that one.
Maybe the lack of imagination was the point?
Falcor finds the Orin just as the world starts coming apart, and somehow he has an easier time of finding Atreyu now than before all this chaos was going down.
Good old Falcor. Can you see anything? Anything at all?
No. All the land is gone.
Really? Because I can see a lot right now. All the stars stretching out into infinity, most of which have planets orbiting them, I'm sure. Looks like there's still plenty of hopes and dreams making up the boundlessness of Fantasia. Shouldn't we be looking at a black void right now instead of the cosmos? Somehow the Ivory Tower survived the complete decimation of imagination, and Atreyu finally meets the Empress face to face.
Atreyu, why do you look so sad?
The world was just destroyed! The ruling class can't be this detached from reality, can it? Atreyu apologizes for not finding a human child, but the Empress says that she already knew what would have saved her, and that Atreyu already brought a human child with him.
But I didn't get in touch with an Earthling!
Yes, you did. He has suffered with you.
Oh, did his horse die too?
He went through everything you went through. And now, he has come here. With you. He is very close. Listening to every word we say.
What?
I've been reading for 8 hours to reach this weak-ass twist? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. This is not a bad twist. I'm just laughing at his reaction. I can't tell you how many times that I've been reviewing through the years, and I had that exact same, "What?"
Just as he is sharing all your adventures, others are sharing his.
She's talking about us. This is creepy. She goes on describing everything that's happened to Bastion so far, which is more than a little nerve-wracking.
But that's impossible! He doesn't understand that he's the one who has the power to stop it. He simply can't imagine that one little boy could be that important.
No, he accepted pretty quickly that a little boy like Atreyu could be the hero of the story. It's the whole his involvement in a fictional story that's freaking him out.
This girl is really detached from reality.
Maybe he doesn't know what he has to do!
has to give me a new name. He's already chosen it. He just has to call it out. Atreyu, no! Atreyu!
And now the Empress will whine on in Atreyu's memory.
Yeah. The movie just unceremoniously killed off Atreyu, didn't it? I never noticed that before. The Empress pleads with Bastion to call out her new name, and he finally gives in to the madness.
Alright! I'll do it! I'll save you! I will do what I dream!
What did he say? Montana?
Montana! No, he actually said his mother's name. Which was Moonchild.
His mom was a hippie?
Uh-huh. And somehow she got married to and procreated with this guy.
He must have some pretty deep pockets.
And Bastion is going to do what he dreams? And the dreams that he's going to do are his mother?
Thank goodness we never saw that Fantasia.
Why is it so dark? In the beginning, it is always dark.
Black. All important movies start with a black screen.
Bastion somehow finds himself in the actually obliterated Fantasia with the Empress, and she gives him the last grain of sand from what was once her kingdom. But all was not lost, as she explains that through the power of his dreams and wishes, Bastion can restore Fantasia and make it better than it was.
And my first wish is...
My first wish is self-insert fanfic! Yeah!
His first wish could have been to bring Atreyu back, but whatever. Suck it, Great Warrior.
Actually, since his first wish was apparently to bring back Fantasia just as it was, Atreyu and Artax are back. It'd be better if we opened on them being the first things that Bastion brought back instead of looking like just a couple of afterthoughts, but hey, they're back. That's all that matters.
What would you like to wish for next?
Ah, yes, what every little boy wishes for. Lasting trauma for his enemies.
Is that better or worse than if Falkor just ate them?
Bastion made many other wishes and had many other amazing adventures before he finally returned to the ordinary world. But that's another story.
Hooray, sequel hooks. You know I love them. So that was the Neverending Story. It's a classic, it's a marvel to behold, but it's not without its issues. This movie has some really imaginative and downright terrifying concepts, and it's perfectly acceptable when some things are left vague and undefined, like the nothing itself. But when you have something like that, which is literally eating up all of existence, what kind of threat can the big bad wolf possibly be? The nothing is presented to us as this force of nature that's just happening on its own, but Gamork says that there's something else behind it, and he's the servant of whatever this thing is? Who could it possibly be? Galactus? Why would it even need servants if it appears to have the means of pulling the plug on reality all on its own? And whatever this thing is that threw the nothing at the cosmos is never explored upon. Why tell us that there's something even bigger going on if you're not going to follow through with it? Why does the Empress reveal to us at the end that she knew how to save Fantasia all along? Her knowing that they needed a human child to give her a new name and not telling anyone about it until the very end is a huge plot hole. And yeah, I know that we'd have no story if she just told us that right away, but it would be just as effective if she didn't know what to do, and that all too important piece of information was given to Atreyu by the Southern Oracle. The obstacles that Atreyu endures and his vulnerability to them are very inconsistent. Why does the Swamp of Sadness kill Artax, but not him? Maybe it's the Orin that's protecting him, but why does it only protect him and not anyone in his party? Was it actually protecting Atreyu at all? It looked like the swamp was going to get him just before Falkor showed up, and it doesn't seem to do a whole lot when he was approaching the Sphinx Gate. Why does the Sphinx Gate destroy anyone who feels any kind of doubt within themselves when trying to pass it? It's 100 feet tall and shoots lasers out of its eyes. I think you should be allowed to feel a little nervous about something like that.
You did say that you liked this movie, right?
Despite my questions, yes, I do still enjoy it. The child actors are great, the special effects still hold up 40 years later, the music is nothing short of iconic, the creatures and settings look like they might actually exist, and despite my issues with the details, the imagination and creativity on display are off the charts. Fantasia is said to be infinite in its possibilities, and even though we only see a small sample of what the imagination is capable of, this movie really makes you feel how boundless it is. All that there is left to say is that this reboot that's coming up has some pretty big shoes to fill, and it's going to take a lot of imagination to... What the hell?
Bobsheaux, thank goodness you've come. Something is corrupting the imagination of Fantasia. We are in need of a great dreamer, and we hear word of subpar stories that you have turned into something better. We need you to give us a new story.
Look, you've got the wrong guy. I mean, I'm only an internet reviewer. My own nitpicky issues aside, you've already got a great story. One that's beloved by millions of people around the world.
No, you need to correct the sequels.
Oh, crap. I'm Falkor, and I love all kids! Yay!